So this here is the Slug Mouse. What is it? Essentially, it's a mouse click, left click, right click, scroll up, scroll down that mounts onto your hand. And with the hand tracking software, anything that has cameras or leap motion, you will be able to track your hands with inside the cockpit and left click, right click, and manipulate the controls. Phenomenal. Let's get to it. Now I fly helicopters, however in a cockpit for a fixed wing, I'm going to imagine having right control capability and left control capability would be phenomenal. However, for me, I find it extremely beneficial because the major thing that I don't have to ever do anymore is remove my hand off the cyclic while I'm flying. It often results in a crash because I'm looking down, my hand off the cyclic, looking for the mouse cursor, finding the cursor, and then manipulating and clicking the controls. However, now I can be flying, look over, and manipulate any controls that I need. I can arm the helicopter, switch my pairs, change my radio, all by just looking over my hand on the cyclic. Now the way it works is you have to be looking at what you're going to use because you have to have your hands tracked by the cameras. However, if your hands are over a particular control, ready to manipulate that control, and you turn your head, the cursor is going to move because now your hand relative to the camera, to the virtual cockpit controls, has changed, right? Even though you didn't move your hand. So you have to get used to keeping your head still. So I look over, I keep my head still, and everything is very easy to move from there. Now, from the co-pilot seat, I would then use my right hand to manipulate the controls however I want. Now I don't have much of a center console, however I have dashboard console. So now I'll be using both my hands. But from here, I could easily look down, turn my master arm on, turn my rangefinder on, manipulate the controls here, here, and it's interacting with my cockpit without having to do much with my mouse at all. It's a lot of fun. I like the immersion. The immersion is something I look for. I have haptics, VR, actual controls, so why not allow me to kind of touch what I'm looking at? You know, the other option is people use their VR remotes, which is, again, great because you're manipulating the controls. However, the issue then becomes I am once again removing my hand off of my cyclic while flying. I would like to be able to just use my left hand that does not control the aircraft. So let's test it while we shoot some stuff. Alright, so I'm flying. I need to arm the helicopter. And to give myself some rockets, change my rocket pairs. And I have unlimited ammo on, so I can just keep shooting right now. Switch to guns. Probably have rockets back already. We're getting kills. Let's use our mouse instead.
A10 flight is 4 minutes out, inbound from the east.
Alright, put the position of the cyclic where I want it, and get it back. I want the rockets actually. There's a lot more sense of an urgency when I have to take my hand off this cyclic. I do not like it. I do not like it at all. Not in a helicopter. So the ground threats have been eliminated. Well, there was the last ground threat. The rest are just objects to blow up. We've got 810s coming in for support. They'll probably be here in about 3-4 minutes. Our troops look like they're healthy. Cool. So, I highly recommend it. It is a 3D printed object made by a gentleman on the Eagle Dynamics forums by the username of Slughead. He coined it the Slug Mouse. I do not know what the conversion is, however, in US dollars, they ran about $200, including shipping. It took me about 5 days from the order to get it. The gentleman was very good with sizing it for me and communication, shipping. It was professionally packaged. They look great. They're real strong. They fit well. They're comfortable. They're not an issue at all. And, you know, they may not be for everybody, but I was waiting a long time for my point controls. I probably still have another 10 months minimum before I even get my point controls. So for now, I have these. I'm interested in trying out the point control lights, which are pretty much going to be the same idea as this, as well as the point controls, and maybe I'll do further reviews on this. However, I've had this for about a week or two, and a little bit of conditioning myself to keep my head still, move my hand, and then manipulate the controls. Real quick, real easy, intuitive, and now it's just muscle memory. So, hope you liked it. The HTCC software that is required in order to use hand tracking with a hand trackable headset, as well as something that has leap motion, can be used without the finger mouse, right? It's just pinch to manipulate, and it works very well. The software is phenomenal. I believe it stands for Hand Tracking Clickable Cockpits. I might be wrong. It's a free software. It's made by a gentleman named Fred. He also does open kneeboard, phenomenal stuff. He's very good at what he does. Now, it does work exactly the same. The only difference is it uses a pinch to recognize the controls. Now, I'll take this off and I will demonstrate very quickly. It'll track my hand, no differently. And then pinch, pinch, and it works. Same thing. It works even with the mouse on there. Pinch. There we go. Pinch. There we go. It's just not as quick as me literally going down there and just clicking with the mouse. Maybe you can get as quick. Maybe you can be even better because it is free, but I prefer this. I spent money on it. It works well for me. I really enjoy it. Not saying you need this, but just another alternative out there. So let's go ahead and end the mission. We'll arm it up, fire off one of these bad boys, just because I can. Because I like it, and just because I can. So let's get up in the air. Let's get the armament on. Now let's get into our constraints, override, and manual launch, and send it. It's a beautiful sunset, ain't it? Or the Hellfire. Either way, it's a beautiful thing. Goodbye.